In this video, we'll talk about host intrusion detection systems. Host intrusion detection systems are often referred to as HIDs. The purpose is that it looks for inappropriate or unauthorized use of a resource, whether that resource is a server or a certain set of database records within an application, and so on. So the purpose is to monitor activity on a specific host as opposed to the entire network. This way, it can be configured to compare data to known threats. Now, the data would be current activity data that is being captured by our host intrusion detection system. It can also compare current activity data to a baseline of normal activity, but that's only going to work properly if a baseline of normal activity for a given host has already been taken. You might have to capture activity, for example, perhaps for a few days or for an entire work week on a system to determine what's normal in the first place. Because from that, our host intrusion detection system can then have some kind of relative comparison point, a reference point, where it can determine what is suspicious or abnormal. Now, host intrusion detection systems might come in a hardware form, it might be rack mountable equipment, or it might be software you install within a server operating system. It might be a dedicated virtual machine appliance that you run on premises or in the cloud. There are many various solutions available. Host intrusion detection systems are designed to monitor details or activity related to a specific application. However, it's common that you need to train your host intrusion detection solution for your specific environment. Some HIDS solutions have a learning mode where you can have them establish a baseline of normal usage activity. However, you might also have to manually configure specific rules or tweak them yourself to eliminate false positives. A false positive is essentially a triggered alert for something that the system thinks is suspicious when in fact it's actually normal and benign. So what we see on the screen then is an example of a snort rule. The snort IDS or intrusion detection system is a common open source IDS solution. So in this example, we are configuring an alert. What it's going to do is generate an alert if there is any ICMP traffic from any host to any host, and we're assigning it a snort ID rule, here seen as 3000003, and we can determine if we configure snort further whether we are generating email notifications, writing to a log, or doing both, and so on. So that's a sample snort IDS rule. How you configure the rules will vary depending on your solution. Some are more graphically based, whereas snort here we can see allows us to configure our rules at the command level, although it does give us increased flexibility this way. With a host intrusion detection system, it has the ability to run on a host itself as opposed to a network. What this means is for applications that deal with network encrypted data, that network encrypted data gets decrypted by the host. This means then that the decrypted version of that data is then available for IDS examination. Whereas with the network intrusion detection system, in most cases, any encrypted network data isn't examined by the network intrusion detection system. There are some exceptions because there are some network intrusion detection systems that do have the ability for you to specify a decryption key or to import, for example, a PKI certificate that contains a decryption key. In this video, we talked about host intrusion detection systems.